Hello, loved ones. It's nice to see your beautiful faces again. I'm so excited it's all of you. Ah, my goodness, I was watching the chat. I was feeling your energy. I can tell a few of you are like super excited. Others of you are very nervous. That's good. That's the part of you that remembers. And it's just your underdeveloped soul going, Mom, Dad, I'm not sure about this. So this is why we are going to teach you the power of your Claire tonight, loved ones. We are going to jump right into this because we have so much information to share. This course is stacked. In fact, it's so stacked that we actually just channeled a meditation today. Actually, Kim, I'm going to get you to bring that back for me, please. Thank you, hon. So we are going to bring you into a place where you get to feel what your superpower is. You are going to learn how to do a meditation to ground. It's quite amazing how Spirit is bringing in these meditations right now, because it's quite cute, because I'm looking at meditations I did 7-8 years ago. And I'm looking at them going, oh, do they need an upgrade? I realized that. And even at that time, though, it was such a charged meditation. And now this is a complete compliment to the loved ones that are here today. The fact that this kind of information is coming in, such high potent spiritual wisdom. Like I said, it is a compliment to who is on this channel and who is going to be watching this, because you're at a place where you're ready for the next level. You're ready for something new. You're ready to start communicating. And I'm telling you, they never wanted us to know this. They never wanted you to figure this out. They kept you distracted, head down, bills, looking forward to the 2 weeks a year you get off. Stop it. We're meant for greatness. We have been robbed, tricked. And now this is about getting our superpowers back. Why am I doing this? This is about your wings, loved ones. Don't be afraid of them. They're nothing to be afraid of. These are your programmed algorithms meant to offset the programming you were going to get later. It's already in you. It just has to be turned on, activated. You just have to give it some energy. Focus on it. What you feed grows. Hear that. It's one of my favorite sayings. Don't feed what you don't want to grow. So if you do want to feed something, you do want to build, grow. I remember when I was first learning my superpowers, I was just so thirsty. I couldn't get enough, but I drank so fast, I got confused. So doing tests like we put out, breaking this down, it's no different than astrology. I remember the first time I was introduced to astrology, I was reading my sign going, how do they know? Finally, someone can actually put words to me. And this will be no different. And so, Kim, I'm going to get you to switch over to our outline here tonight. We are going to be talking about 5 subjects. The first one is going to be, what is your Claire? And why is it important? If you don't know what a Claire is, you're about to be and about to know. You're going to learn what are your 4 major Clairs, because there are more, but we're going to help you touch base on the 4 major ones. And these are the major channels of communication in which angels and spirit and galactics communicate through. So we're going to introduce you to these channels. You're going to learn what is your strongest Clair or spiritual gift. So now that you know what the clairs are, which one is your primary, and be clear, loved ones. Usually your first and second one are so close. It's not like you have one channel to communicate with spirit through. It doesn't work that way. You have all 4 minimum, if not 7, which you're going to hear about later. This is about you now setting intentions to tap into your primary channels to spirit so that you can focus on what you're really good at, what's natural for you, so your messages come in a lot clearer, more accurate. Then we're going to take you through how to develop your clair, to understand your messages from spirit. This is a big one. This is going to help develop your trust. You can be getting messages, but if you don't trust it, it's not going to work. And then, I'm excited about this one. We have a ground, or actually, I just changed the name, so I haven't corrected on the notes here, but it's actually a guardian angel grounding meditation. And it's beautiful. This meditation, it's going to teach you to connect. More importantly, it's going to teach you how to ground. Spirit was big on this one. I spent, I don't know how long, channeling information to ground. And I used to do these meditations. I was taught by my teachers this one. It's beautiful. It connects you with the earth, Mother Gaia. It grounds, it centers you. It's a working meditation. I have relaxing meditations, and then there's working meditations. This one's going to be a working one. You are going to ground. You are going to meet your angel, your guardian angel who's been there since the very beginning of you. You're going to get messages from this being. How? You're going to tap into your strongest clair. It's going to be a beautiful thing. Then afterwards, you're going to learn how to shield. Okay, I've talked about this, but now you're going to be able to experience this in a meditation. And the reason there is so much emphasis put into connecting and grounding and opening up your psychic centers is because you need to get yourself to a spiritual level where you can even work with these beings, where you can see them, where you can hear them. You have to remember, they're omnipotent 5D higher beings. We're 3D. I was trained they have to come down to 4D, and we have to come up to 4D to meet. That resonates with me. They won't come down much. They won't come back down past 4D. That's your job. But they'll meet you halfway. So let's talk about what a clair is. And it was beautiful to work with Spirit on this one because, again, my channels have opened up dramatically. And so when I'm doing this course, they're big on looking up the definition of words right now. Huge. And the more I do it, the more I'm like, wow. So here's the definition of clair. I didn't know this until they told me to go and look it up. The definition of clair is actually a French adjective meaning clear, light, or bright. Clair is clear. So this is about bringing clarity, bringing light, bringing brightness to your gifts so that you can understand better the messages that are coming in. You have to remember, we're dirty, filthy monsters right now, loved ones. If you're a person, you got a birth certificate, you're dirty. You're snuggling into Satan's bed every night. We can't argue that. But I tell you, imagine sitting in his bed going, I'm going to work on my light. on my clarity, my ability to bring a higher vibration to this atmosphere. And so knowing that, this is why it's important to know what your clair is, because this is how you programmed your soul to receive your messages. These are your natural spiritual gifts, your superpowers. We've talked about this. And this is how you receive them. We are all antennas, loved ones. We're all emitting an energy, a frequency, which means we have the ability to use our channel, our receiver, to tap into any frequency or way of being that we wish. And then we can use this clair in meditation to connect and communicate with higher beings, galactics, archangels, guides, ascended masters. Today, we're going to be focusing on your guardian angel. And I get it, loved ones. For a lot of you, this is brand new. You're like, whoa, Jody, I came in here for equity, and now I'm talking about galactics. Like, oh, girl. And you got Darren telling me this is the 70%, and I have to rock myself through most of your shit. I get it. You're supposed to. We sit there like deer in headlight when Darren talks. You don't think, if that's his 30%, imagine 70. I've told you I had to rock when I first learned this. Just to deprogram myself, to let it sink in, to recalibrate. But I was all by myself. We have a family here. Look at everyone here. Is there a stranger among us right now? Is there any face you haven't seen? So this is going to be about learning our gifts together. And I'm going to share the gifts that I've learned along the way. I want to make this easier for you, loved ones. I want to give you more guidance, so it's not so scary. It's not so confusing. I spent years figuring out this shit because there was twisted teachings. There were teachers that were in alignment, yet teaching when they shouldn't be. I was trying to find my way, knowing I was meant for something. And I found my way just based on how I felt, which happens to be one of my strongest intuitive superpowers. And so this is about fine-tuning your channel so that you can get clear, more accurate, to shed some light on more questions or direction that you need. And the clearer you get, the less static. If you're confused and you're like, I don't know what's happening, it's the static. And spirit is about fine-tuning it so that you can remove more static to hear clearer. Because here's the thing, loved ones. It's not a matter of if your angels are talking to you, rather how they are communicating with you. And if you're listening, if you can hear them. And I'm telling you right now, you could not be on this channel. You could not be listening to me right now unless you have these gifts already instilled and ingrained in you and ready to activate and turn on. So give yourselves a pat on the back, loved ones. You're doing something right. You're doing a great job. And I know this road is rocky. The swings are insane. I get it. They're supposed to be. This is what makes you special, though. Showing you can go through this messed up gauntlet and do it with mindfulness and spiritual gifts where the repercussions, the learnings are less painful. I love, that's why I say I don't get taught by anyone but them. Because let me tell you, they are the greatest teachers. If I get even slightly out of alignment, my voice changes. I'm like, oh, okay. Uncle, uncle, uncle. No, no, angel, no. And literally, that's what it feels like. I can't put anything online. I can't channel. It's a block. And when you get in tune with this gift, your gift, you're going to know if it's real or it's not. And that's why in this course, you're going to learn when or what these gifts are and what you'll be experiencing if this is your strongest clair. Then you're also going to learn what it's going to feel like if you're imagining it or you're tapping into false guidance. This is going to be a big one for the religious ones amongst us, or the ones that have very thick Bible grain. This is going to be a big one. You're going to want to know that it resonates. You're going to want to know that what you're learning is, yes, it's a bit of a stretch, because here's the thing. There are 7 intuitive clairs, loved ones. 7 ways that angels and spirit can speak to you. This is them. We have number 1, clairvoyance. This is a gift where you can clearly see, where you have visions. Clairsentience is when you have clear feelings. Claircognizance is a clear knowing, or you have clear thoughts and imprints. Clairaudience is having clear hearing or sounds. Now, these 3 are going to be the ones you probably haven't heard of before. They are very, again, they're strong channels, but spirit is limited as far as the messages that they can give when it comes to taste, smell, and touch. Even feeling, and hear this, loved ones, even with feeling, spirit is limited on how much they can channel and work through you. That's my predominant gift, is feeling. But as I've said, I get my messages, though, through hearing and seeing. So it's not just one. It's, first of all, I feel, so that because I trust my source. So anything that comes in, then I know to trust what I'm hearing and seeing. Do you see how that flows? That's how I have to check in to make sure that what I'm bringing in is in alignment. Because if what I feel is off, and then I try to hear or listen to my messages, they too will be off. It's a nice prelude to helping you see what you need to get in alignment before you can A, trust your messages, or B, make sure that they're correct. And again, a lot of this is going to go back to how you feel. Let's go into this a little bit more here, because we're going to be covering the we won't be covering the clairgustance, which is clear taste, clear scent, which is clear smell, clear tangency, which is clear touching. So you'll see a lot of the number 7 in movies, for instance, where there's psychics that touch the property or the clothing or a piece of jewelry of perhaps someone that's passed away, and then detectives know where to go based on this psychic being able to tap into the touch and the feel of where this person might be. So we're going to go into numbers 1 through 4. But before we do, loved ones, and I have touched on this in a course before, but we're going to go into it on a little bit more detail, because before I can take you any further, and I've said this word a couple times already, and I can still feel an energetic when I say the word psychic. I know they programmed us not to like the word, that it's the works of Satan, that it's bad. Here's the thing, loved ones, if you're going to be tapping into what your spiritual gift is, you're a psychic. So get used to it. I had a lot of trouble telling people I was a psychic. I told them I was a medium. I felt better about that word, but here's the deal. When you look up the definition of psychic, this is what it says according to the Oxford Dictionary. It's relating to or denoting faculties or phenomena that are apparently inexplicable by natural laws, especially involving telepathy or clairvoyance, psychic powers. So Spirit went and had me look up all of these highlighted words. Faculties, I'm sorry, it's not highlighted, they're bolded. Faculties, phenomena, inexplicable, natural laws, telepathy, clairvoyance, and powers. Allow us to now retranslate the meaning of psychic. If you have to shut your eyes, feel this. If you have religious background, I was born and raised hardcore Jehovah's Witness. Are you kidding me? We didn't even speak this word. It was forbidden in our home. My parents would move us away from anyone that tried to warn us. We were scurried away. So I had to learn this as much as I had to teach this. So feel the new programming and understanding, breaking down the language of what the word psychic really means. Are you ready? Relating to or denoting an inherent mental or physical power that is a fact or situation that has been observed to exist or happen, that is apparently unable to be explained or accounted for by a natural body of unchanging moral principles regarded as a basis for all human contact. Come on, loved ones, you know where we're going with that one. Especially involving known thoughts or ideas, or being able to see beyond the ordinary range of perception, and psychic abilities such as mental or physical powers. Definitely not so scary anymore, is it? When you start breaking that down, that they're not dismissing that there are men and women who have inherent mental and physical powers that are unexplained according to humans. Can you see how once we break out of being a human, we might be extraordinary, special, and among these special and ordinary or extraordinary people, we're going to have extraordinary skills and superpowers. That's what a psychic is, loved ones. So let that go. If you've got some chords to the word, go do a meditation so that you can connect to why you're having this block. Because I did. I'll tell you right now. I could do everything under the name of a medium. Psychic, I had a jar because of my programming. That's why we have to get, if you're going to start getting into your spiritual superpowers, you have to realize you're tapping into your psychic abilities, and that's okay. It's what you're supposed to do. It's why you're here. They didn't want us to know this, though. They wanted to keep you scared, distracted. They call it foo-foo for the woo-hoos. You know how many times I've heard that? And then I'm like, woo-hoo for my foo-hoo then. Because it works. Check it out. Look at my wings. Where are yours? And don't bash mine when you got bald wings over there. And I got big ass white ones. This is about learning your wings, loved ones. You've got them. They're just bald. Why? Because in this matrix, in this game, they are all about plucking them out. So A, you don't even think you have them. And B, even if you do, you're so weak you can't take flight. No more. Not where we're going. Anyone walking in to the kingdom, into the garden, is going to have such big wings you can't even get through the door. You better have to crouch and walk sideways. They're so big. That's what equity requires. So we did a survey. We want to see, according to who's online right now, what everyone ranked as. So Kim's going to put up a survey here real quick. If you can enter your answers, that would be lovely. Thank you. Okay, so how are we doing on that? What's the primary there, Kim?
Claircognizance.
Imagine that.
Followed by clairsentience and clairvoyance. And we had actually nobody with clairaudience.
Interesting. And again, it's not that you don't have the ability to hear. It's just that it's not your primary. So if anything in the test, look at the top 2 responses that you had. Those are actually your primaries. Because I actually had my team take me back. I was like, man, I got to go back to what this was like when I took this test. And they actually showed me that I was clairsentient to begin with. But again, you're limited with that gift. So when I pulled and I did the survey again, I came up as clairaudient, and that's where I focused a lot of my attention, which is why that gift developed. Are you hearing me on that one, loved ones? Whatever clair you focus on will feed whatever you put energy into. So even if you have a weak clair, you can develop it for it to become a strong one. So let's go into what clairvoyance is. Okay, so the definition of clairvoyance is the supposed faculty, which is the mental and physical ability of perceiving things or events in the future or beyond normal sensory contact. This is where psychic comes from. If you're going to hear this in the movies, if you're going to hear this online, if anyone thinks of a psychic, they will think of someone who can see things. And that's exactly what a clairvoyance is. It's the ability to see spirit. And here's the thing, everyone wants this gift. Do you know why? Proof. Until people can see things with their own eyes, they stay very stuck in the, is it true? Is this my imagination? Is this possible? And here's the thing about clairvoyance. Only 1% of them actually physically see. That was such a big eye-opener for me when I heard that. Most clairvoyants get their messages in mental pictures. It's like a daydream, a nocturnal dream, a movie. It's like it's playing in your head. You know how sometimes you daydream and you just kind of phase off, but you can see something in your head? That's exactly what clairvoyance is. You might see a picture, a scene. For me, my team, I can actually, they'll spell the words out for me and then circle certain words. That's why I say they're circling this. This depends on how your team talks to you. They can be imprints, which are still sets, or they can be moving pictures and moving scenes. Again, when you start astral traveling, ooh, can't wait to teach you about that. When you start astral traveling, that's what that is. You're going to have meditations, and you probably have already, where you've seen yourself outside of your body. How do you think you're seeing that? That's your third eye. And so you have to realize too, when they give you messages through your third eye, a lot of it can be done in the form of metaphors. So sometimes you'll get a picture or a symbol or a number or an imprint of some kind, and you'll be very confused. So for instance, if I'm giving a reading and I can tell this person is carrying too much, they are overworked, they are taking on too much energy, they will show me someone with things on their shoulders. So when I see that picture, they don't even have to tell me that, okay, I'm seeing that there's a lot of weight on your shoulders. Okay, so it's about being able to connect that they're carrying too much energy, they're taking too much on. Okay, it's not that they're actually physically carrying things on their back. It is a metaphor that spirits they're able to communicate more with a picture than, for instance, a word. And here's the thing, loved ones. I remembered I wanted to see so bad, so bad. And I'll share experience with you because I went for some very intense angel mediumship courses. And approximately 6 months later, I woke up to a spirit guide standing in my room. I could see right through her. And her energy at that time, this is about 7 years ago, was so intense. The room went ice cold. I couldn't breathe. Time stood still. And I could draw to this day what she looked like, her outfit. She had bare feet. I could see it all. And she started walking towards me. And as she did, the tightness, and I was overwhelmed. Energetically, it was too much for my physical body. And I was like, it was so painful. I'm like, I have to get you to stand back, to which she did. So she attempted to come to me 3 times. And I had to tell her I wasn't ready for her. I got schooled by spirit because I wanted it so bad. And then when it actually showed up, I realized, wow, do I need to develop my spiritual gifts? Do I need to raise my vibration? Do I ever need to be capable and able on a completely different level? We talk about that with equity. You got to be of a certain caliber and frequency to stand before spirit, to work with them, for them to want to work with you. And so just because you don't see angels materialize right in front of you does not make your visions any less real or valid. This is key. I got schooled by spirit because I thought I was ready. And when they showed up, I wasn't, not even close. I have been blessed with one other physical clairvoyance experience where Archangel Michael presented himself to me when my guides were upgraded to him. And I was blessed to have him reveal himself when I was in a farmer's field. I just pulled my vehicle up and I was doing a meditation and I was watching the sun go down. And as it hit the wheat, literally, it was so biblical. It was unbelievable. It was just beautiful. But as the sun was going down, he showed himself to me. I could see his leather boots. I could see his outfit. I could see his hair, his wings, all of it. Very handsome archangel. and he was looking down, running his hands on the top of the wheat. And as the sun got halfway down, he looked back at me. And he looked at me for the rest of the time as the sun went down, as I wept. That'll change your life, loved ones. If you ever have the privilege of spirit materializing in front of you, it'll change your life. You can hear it in me. I don't guess anymore. I show up every time, even if I don't know what I'm going to say. Like tonight, I'm just showing up because I know when I set intentions, when I tell them, you gotta show me the next step, but here I am, free falling. And I will free fall for spirit over and over and over. And loved ones, when we learn to do this, it's game over. They can't fight that. We talk about faith and believing. When you trust your source, which is why Darren and I went over that course about the power of trust. So that when your messages come in from spirit, it's instant. You just jump. Do you know the power of just jumping? Do you know how much spirit can work with you? Do you know how much you can aid the garden when you do that? The spirit has to work through someone who's like, okay, thank you very much for the download, spirit. Please hold while I process this. I don't know how long it's going to take. Versus someone who goes, fuck yeah. Oh, I've been waiting for this. Let's go. Spirit goes, things happen so quick in 5D when you do that. So don't let your anchors tie your wings. That's what they just said. Don't let your anchors tie your wings. This is not the time. Because your anchors are they can be dissolved so easily. And so if you are clairvoyant, do not get caught up in physically seeing. You're going to block your gift. But if you practice this a little bit, if you tap into this clair, oh, loved ones, you're going to start seeing glimpses of angels, auras around people. Your third eye is going to start opening where you can start seeing lights, colors, sparkles, especially in your peripheral. When it first started for me, you're going to see little pew, pew, or just a flashes of light. Notice what color they are. Please write that down. If you start seeing things, even if your eyes are shut, if you're seeing it, they're like little sparks, orbs. If you see them, notice the color. Now, here's the thing. When I first started seeing, I was seeing black smudges. Kind of freaked me out a little bit. I was like, oh, are you kidding me? I don't want to channel like dark things. But when your eyes are first opening, they kind of have a little bit of like film. It's like smudge, sludge. It's like eye deep things that you just can't see through. So just be patient with yourself. If you are setting intentions to channel spirit, the dark ones cannot get in. Know that. Because I was big because of my spiritual background and this gift was so strong in me. I made an agreement with spirit when I first started. And I told them, okay, fine, I'm going to show up, but only for the light. I will not work with the dark. I won't deal with ones who have passed over. This wigs me out, freaks me out. I don't like it. And for many years, we had that agreement. But eventually, you have to step out of that. You have to start trusting yourself. And so real quick, I want to get back to if you see a color, okay, the orbs, the smudges, make sure that you look up on your phone what archangel is the color blah. Okay, so if you see green, What archangel is the color green? Because if you're seeing color, they're archangels. If you're seeing dark, it's okay. It's just usually your guides. Guides come through usually first, and then angels. There's a process to this. Okay, it's not like all of a sudden creator is going to come down and go, hello, Ravina, how are you? It just, if that ever happened, we'd have to like see her in 3 weeks for her to recover. Okay, so there's a process. So let that process unfold and happen for you, loved ones. Okay, so again, if you start seeing things, look up the color, start looking into the archangels, because again, they start making a presence. This is all about developing a trust with them so you don't feel scared. They programmed us to be so scared of angels, of spirit. It's ridiculous. I did a meditation. I was just, tears are flowing as I could feel the energy and impact of the world, learning the power of their guardian angel. We were too busy before to do a meditation to connect with our guardian angel, a being we put in our life since the very first breath we took. So this is what being a clairvoyant looks like. Your messages come in, hear this, on the same channel as your imagination. Yep, that's why it screws with your head so much. I'm going to say it again. Your messages, when you are clairvoyant, come in on the same channel as your imagination. Do you see why trusting your source is so important? It will involve dreams and visitations that are so real. You will see colors. You'll be able to feel textures, emotions in these visions. You'll see sparks or flashes of light, even colored orbs or mists. Your visions, as you can see here, will happen spontaneously. You won't have to force them, loved ones. They're going to feel natural. And you'll probably experience tingles and air pressure changes. A big one is, again, you will repetitively see feathers to start with, coins, birds, butterflies, rainbows, and number sequences to start. If you are seeing birds, you're going to notice a lot of crows, eagles, and ravens. This is very common for clairvoyance. Now, let's talk about what happens if you are imagining what you are seeing, or if you're being falsely guided. This is important, a great reference so that you can tap into the feeling of when you are on track versus off track. First of all, you will be shown worst case scenarios in your visions, and you won't be given any instructions on how to avoid them. That's a big one. You'll have the feeling that you're forcing your visions. They'll be ego-centered in nature. It'll be actually giving yourself the gain at the expense of others. It's going to be like you're going to be seeing yourself almost stepping on people, as if you're forcing a message to come through. And here's the other thing. Your visions and dreams will be ordinary, boring, and forgettable. When you go into a meditative state as a clairvoyant, you're coming out a different man or woman, upgraded, with extra feathers. Your wings are actually bigger. That's a big deal. Now let's jump into clairaudience. Clairaudience is a supposed faculty of perceiving as if by hearing what is audible. Okay, so before we were talking about seeing, now we're going to be talking about hearing. This is a little bit of a tricky gift, and I'm happy I have a little bit of experience in this arena so that I can shed a little bit of light. So if this is one of your gifts or a gift that you would like to be able to strengthen, you'll be able to do so. Now, this is the ability, being clairaudient, to clearly hear. This is whether you are hearing your higher self, if that's a channel you tap into, your spirit guides. It's any extrasensory input that you are getting, auditorial. So you have the ability to ask a question and receive a response to that question, either right away or within a day or so. So the way it kind of works for me is when I set intentions, I could come through the screen on intentions. It's key with any of your gifts. So when I set intentions to do something, I open up all my gifts. But when I know they're talking to me, it has a feel. It's clear. They're not wordy. It's to the point. It'll be like a turn right, turn left, careful, don't, no, yes. Kim has witnessed many times me channeling for her. Do you want to share your experiences?
Yes. For getting a message from you when you hear them is very direct in a way that they tell you exactly what it is, and there's no fluff, it's to the point. And it is very clear. And actually, can I share a little experience I had yesterday? I thought I had a different moment. And as it was replaying, I was driving and it was icy in between mountains, and I heard 4x4. But I'm still in the process of learning to know if I know or if I'm hearing. And like Jody said, it's a clear word, cop, left, turn, 4x4. And I was like, oh, okay. And I listened. And that's when we talk about the faith in hearing. And I turned my 4x4 on, and they showed up and literally saved my life yesterday. I would not be here for you. So I won't go into it a little bit too much because I really want you guys to enjoy the process of learning about your Claire and the Claires. But when Jody said it is direct, it's a word, and there's usually no fluff. And that is very true.
Kim is completely skimming over that story. She returned from Divergence back to her home, which was a 12-hour drive in the middle of northern Canadian roads, winter roads. That she turned her vehicle to 4x4 only to have a vehicle roll and flip in her peripheral to the side of her vehicle shortly after. Yeah, it was kind of a big deal. So when spirit speaks, you want to be in tune, because if you don't listen, there can be very quick and swift consequences if you don't. So bless your heart, Kim. You're like, yeah, so I listened and it turned out good. When she says she almost died, there was a vehicle flipping next to her in a high pursuit chase in a northern pass. So when we talk about getting messages, it's not like it's going to be outside of yourself. This is a big one. Sometimes you will, but more than anything, it's going to be like talking to yourself. The voices will sound like you. If I would have had someone tell me that, oh, I would have been years ahead. I remember that. I remember the first time I connected with spirit. I was sitting there going, okay, I know I hear things. I know I have the ability to tap in. I'm like, tell me what you sound like. And they're like, we're here. I'm like, okay, was that me that just said that? Because it sounded like me. They're like, no, we sound like you, but we're here. And I'm like, are you kidding? So you come in as I remembering this going, you sound like me. That doesn't make sense. But they're like, but yes, it's us. Then it won't scare you so much. Think about that, loved ones. Imagine if all of a sudden you had a very deep, strong voice in your ear go, hello, Scott. This is Source speaking. That alone, like I said, it would rock. The vibration would rock you. You'd pass out. It's much easier for it to start coming in on the same channel as your voice, your imagination, so you can get used to its frequency. And when I actually went, oh my goodness, is that you? I could hear them go, and they were all applauding and they were like giggling and laughing, and tears were like streaming down my face. Going, oh my goodness, is this how I talk to you? I'm like, oh my, you sound like me. It was the trippiest thing. But when you understand that's how Spirit has to communicate with you at first, until you can get used to what I sometimes hear, thousands of voices at once, you got to be ready for that. Imagine hearing thousands of voices at once right now, loved ones. Do you think that might have a little bit of an energetic consequence? Yeah. So, baby steps. And then you'll have men, women energies. You'll have a whole bunch speak at the same time. Sometimes you'll ask a question, and the message initially when you first start doing this skill will come through as in a song or a conversation. That's very, very popular. Spirit loves to show off that way. That's a big one where you're like, oh, did I just hear that? Oh, I can't believe that just happened. You'll also usually hear a loud ringing noise or a high-pitched squeal in one of your ears. So if you're getting squeals or high-pitched tones in your ears, yes, they're downloads. Yes, they're upgrades. But it means you have this skill to be able to hear and download them. Okay. The other thing is that when these downloads come into each ear, notice which one it comes in on. If it's the left side, this is the underdeveloped soul. And the underdeveloped soul doesn't like the word ego. It makes it feel like it's separate or apart from you. It's the part that came here with amnesia. It's the part that wasn't supposed to remember. And so it's not about separating or beating that one up or getting it to forgive you. No. This is about tuning into, okay, is it left side or right side? If it's left side, the downloads that are coming in, the upgrades that are coming in are in regards to my underdeveloped soul, that part of me. I'm getting downloads, upgrades, so that when the lessons come, when the information and the experiences come into physical reality, I at least have a bit of an energetic pulse of the situation. So it's easier to handle. It's not so jarring on your system. If it's on the right side, it's going to be soul related. Now, when it comes to being clairaudient, when you're a channeler or a medium, usually clairvoyance and clairaudience work together. So you hear and see at the same time. They work beautifully together. So if you have any of these skills, tune in to being able to hear and see, because if you work with those two channels, if those are your primaries, you're going to start receiving some messages pretty quickly. Now, this is what a true angelic spirit experience will sound like if this is your gift. Sentences start with you, we, or your first name, not I. Here's the other thing. You're going to have a sense that someone else is talking to you. You're going to have a sense. There's going to be a presence, even if it sounds like your own voice. And loved ones, these voices can be blunt, they can be giddy, they can be funny. It just depends on who's coming in. I'm going to teach you about the different voices and their personalities so that you know what you're hearing and so that you can relate it to who you're speaking with. The other thing it will do is it will actually ask you to change your thoughts or attitude so you're more loving. You're more in alignment. And you'll find yourself being very attracted to celestial music, things that calm and center you. Commercials, TV, anything of static, lots of noise, that's going to be very disturbing for anyone who has the ability to hear. So let's talk about recognizing the voice, because as these voices come in, if this is your spiritual gift, you're going to have different channels that you can tap into. The first one that usually presents itself is going to be the higher self. Now, this voice is going to sound like you. Again, your messages are going to start with your name or you. Your higher self is not a male or a female. This is the other thing we have to talk about. Even when I speak about angels coming in male, female energies, on the other side, from my understanding, is there really isn't a difference. They're blended. So when you are touching base with your higher self, if you're a woman, don't try and just connect with your divine feminine. It's going to be important to connect with all aspects of your higher self so that you get a more balanced reading or messages. Okay. Now, when you do connect with your higher self, you're going to know it's your higher self because it's going to sound like a smarter, older version of yourself. Okay. It'll prove to be your voice of reason, justice, mercy, compassion, unlike the underdeveloped part of you whose messages will be more fear-based in nature. Now, if you're talking to a spirit guide, okay, now spirit guides are fun. They swear. Super awesome. Okay, they've lived here before. They have come here. We have been their spirit guide. They've been ours. We work back and forth. You choose your spirit guide, just like your guardian angel. This is why, loved ones, you're never alone. If you knew the divine beings that are around you at all times, you would never feel by yourself ever again. And so these spirit guides, like I mentioned, they were once on this earth. So they possess or have the ability to know ego, the underdeveloped part of yourself. They really get that part of us. But here's the thing, they're quite wordy and humorous. So when I say my spirit guides actually said this, yep. And have fun with them. They're sassy. They got a lot of personality. So if you're feeling that coming out in your messages, I can guarantee you it's not an archangel. Archangels don't jump around and dance. They just don't. That's spirit animal. Oh, sorry, that's spirit guides. Now, let's move into your angels. So this is the next level up. If an angel is speaking to you, it's going to sound very Shakespearean. They have a very archaic and formal speech pattern. They like to be very direct and to the point, but they're very sensitive and kind in their delivery. So although I've worked with some angels, I specialize more with archangels, guides. I've had angels, of course, with my guides around, but the archangels, they're a very fun batch of beings. Now, they are very loud as well. They are to the point if they are speaking to you. They are formal. They are direct. Most of their words are around divine love and staying on track in regards to your life mission. And they speak of helping you overcome your fears and doubts and procrastination about your life purpose. I have noticed about archangels too, is that whenever you're doing some form of clearing or you need protection, these are the beings you want to call in. They're great for protection. They're great for helping you learn your gifts and learning to trust them. And again, it's important to know what you're hearing or what you're seeing when it comes to these voices. And there has been some, I've noticed some chat as far as certain archangels coming in and dancing or partying, or that's not an archangel. They're busy. They are determined. The reason I know this is I work with Archangel Michael a lot. I have tried to crack smiles on that boy. I don't know how many times. And he'll smile and nod. He'll do his, but he's there to do work. So understand that if you're hearing a message from an archangel, you can tap in and even ask, is this Archangel Michael? Is this Archangel Raphael, Gabriel? Look up the archangels. You can then get into a channel of them, summoning them, depending on what their gifts are to work with you as you grow your clair. The next is the Galactic Federation. Yeah. We're bringing them into the house. Absolutely. I actually had channeled this information in today because in my last course, I wasn't working with the Galactics. It wasn't until about 1.5 years ago I started working with the Palladians and the Arcturians. Those are my primary species that I work with. And if I had to describe how they come in, they again speak in your own voice or in their own voice. Now, when I was channeling them and experiencing them for the first time last year with my skin condition, I was in meditations where I had Arcturians working on me to remove technology, implants within me. And I had little blue guys walking by me and they would just walk by and say something. And whereas the Arcturian who was working on me didn't say anything. He would just look, well, I shouldn't say that. He would just look at me once in a blue moon and go, breathe. And I knew what that meant. He would show me, and that was pretty much all I got out of him. So it really depends on what family you're working with and how much they want to work with you and how much you can hear them and you trust the messages that you are bringing in. And so again, it's like talking to yourself, but it's going to have a very similar sound to guides. Again, they can have humor. They're kind. The Palladians are just like royal. When I work with them, I just constantly want to just bow my head to them. It's just an honor. The Arcturians are very powerful. They work a lot with us, which is why there's a new meditation coming down the pipeline where they'll actually come and work with you to do this surgery that I speak of. Now, if you're hearing false guidance, loved ones, you're going to become paranoid. The messages will be abusive, discouraging, depressing. You're going to know by how it feels. All the sentences coming in are going to start with I. It's going to be very ego-based. And you're going to feel frustrated because the messages are muddy, they're unclear. And so the ego or the underdeveloped soul, it's like I mentioned, it's going to be wordy. You go, here's your solution. And you're like when I talk about recalibrating, it's because you're like, oh my, wow, how did I not think of that? And I just need to process this because there's this all these layers to that message. If it's not in alignment, the tone's going to be daunting. It's going to be cruel. It's going to be alarming. And here's the thing, the underdeveloped soul, it likes to gossip. It loves fear. It likes to speculate about others and use abusive words. Loved ones, this is where people get messages to hurt themselves or others. So again, if people are hearing these messages to hurt themselves, they're on a low vibration. So hear that. You can actually hear messages on a low vibration or a high vibration. Do you see that? It's a gift that works whether you're in a shitty alignment or a really good one. It's now just a matter of whether the messages are coming in that are in alignment for the direction you want to go. So that's why it's really important that you imprint, you impress, you set intentions for the direction in which you want to go. All right, we're at our 1 hour break. Let's take a quick little pre-break. We'll be back in 5 minutes. Okay, loved ones, I'm coming back a little early because I want to move through this. This is exciting as far as you relating to some things that perhaps you've experienced your whole life that you're making a little bit more of a connection to now. Okay, so we are going to address your questions right after we go through this. Okay, so just so you know, I want to move through this just so that we can cover the different 4 clairs. And then any questions that you have, put them in the chat and then I'll be sure to answer them after. So we're going to move into clairsentience. Now it's called clairsentience. However, it's also known as clairsentient. Okay, just depending on how you phrase it. Now, the definition, when you look this up in the Oxford Dictionary, means the power or faculty. Now, again, faculty means the mental or physical ability of discerning objects not present to the senses. So this is actually the most common clair there is. The most common, most frequent spiritual gift. Everyone thinks they're a feeler. Because we are. If you don't think you're clairsentient on some level, come on now. If you're feeling tingles, you're clairsentient. That's a feel. Now, this clair is the intuition in the form of emotional input. This is where our physical feelings come into play, our gut feelings. These are emotions that can come out of the blue, such as joy, excitement, irritation, or sadness. I was an emotional basket case for most of my life. I was super happy or I was super sad. And like that. I'd be happy and all of a sudden I'd go into a room or around someone and I just, wow. I could change that quickly. You can also, if you're clairsentient, sense the collective energy of a room. This is where really good salespeople come from, because you can feel what your client wants and needs and morph yourself to them. You also may experience physical sensations such as suddenly feeling warm or feeling changes in the air temperature or pressure. So this is why even with any kind of meditation or healing or clearing, we always recommend to dress in layers, to have blankets, because again, your energy will fluctuate with energy work, especially if you are a clairsentient. Now, your body will also tighten or relax in response to a mental image or person. Have you ever been around someone and all of a sudden, I don't like them. Kids are fantastic at this. Where they just, on some level, all of us have felt this, where we've just been around someone who just made us feel very, very uncomfortable. Now, clairsentience, here's the thing, loved ones. Are you ready for this one? They commonly absorb the toxic energy of other people and their problems. This is a big one. If you are a feeler, if you are meant to have a gift of being able to read other energies, and you choose that when you get that reading back to hold on to it, oh, hang on. It's going to be a nightmare for a while. It was for me. Because I felt that whatever I felt, I had to hold on to fix, because I was going and talking to other people or conversing with other people, taking on their energy, their emotions, their problems, and then I took them on as my own. It took me a long time to realize I need to learn how to hear things and not attach to them. As a feeler, You have to develop that superpower. And so we easily get overwhelmed with other people's emotions. Oh, when we're around someone who's miserable or cranky or is an asshole or a bitch. Rah. We don't like it. Why can't everyone just get along? That's our feeling. We're highly emotional and extremely sensitive. Now, here's the thing. We were taught that this was a bad thing. I was told my whole life, Jody, settle down. You're so theatrical. You're so much. Quiet. That's why meeting Darren, he was the first man where I was always just waiting to get my speech, only to have him go, girl, not enough. What? So when we talk about loved ones, about taking your emotional dial and cranking it up, if you're clairsentient, crank it up. We need you to feel. This is the reason this man chose me, because I feel on a level that serves him in the garden. I'm dialed into my source. I know if people are being deceptive, ulterior motives. And then I see and hear things to validate that. And so being a feeler is not a bad thing. You're not too much. You're not supposed to turn yourself down. You're supposed to turn yourself up. It's just about now learning that when it comes in, the emotions, because I get it, they're extreme. They're a lot. They take your breath away, right, Gareth? Someone can burp around me and I have to try and, that's how much I feel. I can feel it come up in them. So I'm like, it's about being able to tap in on that level. This is how we're going to know as administrators, the ones coming in, if they're right for the garden, to help you see if you're aligned properly for the garden. And so here's the thing. If you're clairsentient, you're highly emotional and sensitive. Yay! Not a bad thing. It's just now about managing them. And when you get overwhelmed, when you're around too many people, it's very important that you go remove yourself and be alone. Huge. If you're a feeler and you're around people all the time, you're going to have a tough time. You need to have that outlet where you can just be, to get rid of all the energy you've collected. And this is why, if you are clairsentient, when we talk about opening your crown and clearing yourself, it is so important to do that. Because naturally, you just pick up the energies of people. You don't even know you do it. And then all of a sudden, at the end of the day, you're like, oh, why is my back hurting? I feel it in my back. It hurts. Or all of a sudden, I'm just like, I just feel moody. I feel a little bit emotionally squirrely. That's what I call it. Emotionally squirrely. I could, pew! We all know when we're in that moment. So let's move into how you know the experience that you're having is feeling right, if you're in alignment with spirit. This, loved ones, is where angel bumps come from. Tingling on your head, like I spoke about. The brush of wind, or a little feeling that you might have on your arm. This is how it starts. Again, if all of a sudden you're standing there and a spirit guide came and grabbed you energetically and gave you a full body hug, where all of a sudden you knew something was hugging you, but you couldn't see it. Would that not freak you out? So we got to do baby steps here. They got to start with the little tingles. You know how it started for me? I would all of a sudden, it was like a handprint underneath and right behind my leg. It was like the weirdest spot, but just that would all of a sudden become electric. Electric is the word. It's energized. Or all of a sudden, I just have a random spots on my body that would just become energized. Where I was like, hey, that is so weird. I have goosebumps. I would look at my leg and there would be a circumference of just goosebumps just there. Everything else is fine. Oh my God. This is not normal. Excellent. You're working outside of human conduct. Now we're talking. So look for those kind of things. Spirit will sometimes touch you, stroke your hair, it'll nudge you. The biggest decisions I made in my life, loved ones, before I even was connected to my team. And I remember verbalizing this, and I have witnesses before I even touched my spiritual gifts back when I was numb and dumb, where I was leaving my whole entire family, my job, my friends, leaving everything because it was like something was pushing me. I had no choice. It was like I had a choice, but I didn't. I was supposed to go here and it didn't matter. That's what we need to look for, that feeling. Spirit nudging you where you just go, I can't even stop this. I'm scared shitless, but I am moving this way and wow, I just got to deal with this. That's where you want to be. You know when Spirit's protecting you when you're in meditations and their wings are around you, or you're traveling, or you are going into an environment where you need extra love, a sphere around you. That's when Spirit comes. You'll know when they're there because it's just easier. You feel that. You can ask them to tuck you in at night or during a meditation. When's the last time you got tucked in? Or you can even ask a being to hug you. I don't need to go over whether or not you'll know if that's real or not. You just will. And so you're going to know if it feels right, because you'll receive repetitive and consistent gut feelings to make certain changes in your life or to take certain steps. That's a big one. You know when you're supposed to do something. The gut feelings are, I'm not happy anymore. This once worked, but it isn't anymore. This did serve me, but it's not anymore. If you're receiving false guidance, loved ones, around feeling, you're going to feel cold, prickly, and the room is just going to have an off feeling about itself. You're going to be afraid, panicky. When you're working with Spirit, there's none of that. You'll have a sense of being alone. If you have a sense of being alone, you're completely disconnected. Please refer back to your source and cleansing and grounding processes and tools immediately. Don't be trying to channel in Spirit if you're feeling alone. Your cup's empty. And your feelings will also return to normal very quickly. And you'll be left with a feeling of it just felt off, weird. When you feel an experience, when they imprint you that way emotionally, you don't forget that. You don't walk away 10 minutes going, yeah, thanks. You sit there and you're like, wow, I haven't felt that before. I actually need to find words. I need to find a way to explain that. So let's move now into claircognizance. We have left this one, loved ones, for last for a reason, because I have taught this course many, many times, even though it's been revised and upgraded right now. And I found most of the loved ones and the students at that time who were pursuing their spirituality were claircognizant. And they doubted themselves the most. And yet the claircognizants are the most spiritually gifted. So let me explain why. Claircognizance, the definition of this, is the ability for a person, let's ignore that name, the ability for a man or woman to acquire physical or psychic knowledge without knowing how or why he or she knew it. This is a big one. So I'll admit this is the weakest of my clairs, although it's getting much, much stronger now that all my other clairs are in alignment. This is the ability to have clear thoughts, and your intuitive information pops into your head. And here's the thing, loved ones, when these pops, when these downloads happen, it's within seconds. It's not like you sit there and you have to like wait for like downloading, please hold. No, it's immediate. And with this clair, the information comes in subtly. It's like it's a thought or an idea. And it's very easy to miss if you're not aware of this clair and its power. Because here's the thing, and we highlighted this, Spirit wanted this highlighted. You often dismiss or ignore your divine guidance because you believe it's common knowledge and that what you know is obvious to others. You're smarter than the lunatics by design. You're the ones who just know when you have to do something. You have frequent aha revelations. You can fix and assemble anything without instructions. That's one of the most common traits. You're wise. You have great ideas for inventions, businesses, products, and you're often known as a know-it-all. People will call you this because of how much you know in regards to life's greatest problems. When you meet someone, you often know details about him or her without having previous knowledge. You have premonitions of how to do something or how something's going to turn out. And you're often right. One of our queens is going to be talking about this. These are the I told you so's of the group. I knew that was going to happen. I so saw that happening. Know-it-alls. But they don't say they know it until after. Now, the other thing about this as well is that repetitive thoughts, light bulb type inspirations, and paying attention to what enters your mind with this spiritual clair is crucial. I can't emphasize this enough. If you have this spiritual ability to know You have to start trusting that whatever keeps coming over and over is what you're supposed to do. But here's the thing, it comes in your voice. Usually you're very analytical. You have to break it all down. You have to make sure it's right. You think it to death. And so in the beginning stages of this, Claire, the knowing of your thoughts come as one. This is actually a channeling from Darren that he brought in. That in the beginning stages of learning, your claircognizance, Claire, is the knowing and your thoughts coming in together as one. Thoughts and knowing as one. The claircognizants usually know when they're claircognizant. It says you're your worst nemesis. You overthink everything. You overanalyze everything. It's a lot. And so I want to just talk real briefly about how you know when it's true. Because for people who receive this information this way, you get very much caught up in the if this is true or not. So here's how you know. You will experience your ideas and thoughts being repetitive and consistent in nature. Again, key. Whatever keeps getting imprinted is what source is trying to tell you to do. You have a central theme of how you can help others or solve a specific problem. Your thoughts, they'll always be positive and empowering. You'll receive explicit and detailed instructions on what steps you need to take. Oh my goodness, I have seen that with this man, I don't know how many times, where he doesn't know. And I've seen him go into Pomeroy equity books and go, Father, show me. And the wisdoms and the knowledge that comes from that. He gets in line with it, and the next piece of the puzzle is revealed, and the next piece and the next piece. Why? Because he keeps showing up for the next piece. Too many stand back and go, thank you for the piece. I'm just going to put it right over here while I sit. And I'm going to analyze it. I'm going to look at it from all angles because I don't know about you yet. And I am telling you right now, anyone who is like that, anyone who doubts a knowing knowledge coming in, you don't trust your source. Period. You have a challenge spirit on that. Try. Because I'm telling you right now, that's what makes this man different. That is what makes any spiritual teacher who has that gift. They know and they do. They don't block spirit. They show up every time. And guess what? Spirit does. When you show up and you fall, they have to give you a step. And the next time you go and you take your next. But as long as you sit there and go, I don't know if that step's going to come, no step will be provided. That's how it works. It's also going to be in alignment with what does it for you, your passions, your interests. Now, if you're imagining or experiencing knowing falsely, here it is. You will experience random and ever-changing ideas and thoughts. Because if you're in alignment, there's no chaos. It's clear, it's accurate, it's precise. If it's false knowings, it'll be about getting rich, hitting it big, and we'll have a get rich quick theme to it. Do you see why we put this one up, loved ones? We have inheritances and accounts with money in it that is off the charts. And if the knowings that are coming in are all about money and protecting what you have, getting rich, you're tapping into the wrong source. You'll be thinking about worst case scenarios. Claircognizants do this all the time. You get a message and they're like, okay, please hold. And now I'm going to think about every scenario that could possibly go wrong about this message I just got. Why? It is not your job to figure out the how. That's spirits. Just show up. It's so much easier for spirit when you do that. So here's the thing, loved ones. 3D has a chaos feel to it. Source is quiet. With all of these 4 spiritual skills that we just spoke about, on some level, you're going to resonate with all of them. Now it's about bringing where you are strong and merging them. And then going into these meditations that we're going to teach you with your strongest clair, and sometimes coming in maybe with your second or third strongest clair, so that you can go, hey, spirit, I want to go next level. I need to develop this. I'm really good at this one, but I want this one to catch up. So let's talk about the power of claircognizance, because I have a queen that is a claircognizant who has been learning this gift and its abilities. So I will let you talk about this, and I'm going to turn this over to Kim.
Yes. So all the things that we said about doubting, I have been doing up until one day. Jody and I were driving, and as she gets her messages, she looks at me and she said, how do you get yours? And I said, I don't know. I just know. And this was only like, what, 6 months ago? Not even. And this whole time, I don't know, I just know. And I knew that I maybe didn't see things or hear things. And as we spoke, and she's like, okay, what was it like for you as a child? And even developing this course, I was known as a know-it-all. So much so that I would know things about things that I shouldn't know things. And I would actually get in trouble for it. And how did I know? I don't know. And the whole putting things together without instructions is something I've kind of been proud of for a long time. But I wanted to touch on the doubting. So I would get an imprint of a knowing. And sometimes, loved ones, it had to do with a tsunami the night before it hit. It had to do, or it could be something as small as, like they said, put your 4x4 on, or switch lanes, or just a little thing. And I would doubt. And then it would happen, and I was like, oh, I knew it. I knew it. It was more, I knew it than I know it. Because I know it, I didn't trust it, and then I knew it. And once that came up, I would second guess myself even more. And it would be a consistent cycle of, okay, oh, I knew that. And I actually did it last week when I was with Darren and Jody. Oh, I knew that. And Jody looks at me with all her team, really, we're putting a course on. And she's like, I hope you teach this. And I said, I will. I'll hold that space for anyone. And it does come in the same channel as your thoughts. And when Jody put that into perspective, it's like they replayed. They pulled out that drawer in Bruce Almighty of all the events, the things that they've told me, and what that looked like. And trust that. So you'll get like an imprint and the push at the same time. And it's as you develop these skills, even as we're developing this, I learned that, hey, I don't just have one, they kind of all blend together. You know it, you hear it, or you can see it and you feel it. But second guessing, I still second guess. But now I know better and I catch myself. And trusting your source constantly is probably the biggest tool that you can have for this.
Telling someone that, oh, I knew that was going to happen, does not serve. What serves is telling before it happens. That's when it serves. And that's what our Kim is learning. And she's learning very fast. And so thank you for sharing that experience. That's wonderful. Now, we had you all take a quiz. Now, again, if you took this quiz and you rushed through it, you were distracted, please make sure that you go into this where you're full, you're clear, you have a space where you can take your time with the questions. This is how your spiritual team communicates with you. So if you are answering, that's happened once in a while. If you go in muddy, guess what you get? You get muddy. So we did have you go through a couple or 40 questions, and we bled a whole bunch of different questions and ways of asking them so we could kind of get you thinking in different ways so that you could start identifying certain traits that were strong within you. Now, you should all have what you are because of taking the test, which is amazing. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to talk about how to develop your clair, how to develop this spiritual gift within you so that you can start understanding and getting clarity on any messages that are coming down the pipeline for you from them. So there are actually 7 things we want to talk about real quickly before we go into the meditation to meet your archangel and to learn some very important grounding and connecting skills. Number 1, loved ones, the best way to develop your spiritual clair, no matter which one you are that we talked about, is to start doing meditations that ground, clear, connect, and protect you. When you do this, especially grounding, I cannot emphasize this enough. If you are new to spiritual learnings and teachings, grounding is one of the most important aspects of raising your vibration. Because if you just jump in, for instance, and start doing a little you healing, or you just jump in and you start doing some form of healing without grounding, you'll get squirrely. You will get unbalanced. And you're going to see why, because the importance of grounding is centering yourself to Mother Earth, to the 3D, to her belly, so that you can integrate and calibrate and align yourself to these new teachings and learnings that you're getting. And so it's important to pay special attention that when you are doing these meditations, to open up your heart center so you can feel, open up your crown center so that you can know, and open up your third eye so that you can see and you can see. And what's the other one? I'm missing one. Kim? I'm missing one.
I don't know.
See in here. There it is. Forgive me. So when you open up your third eye, you are able to open up both of these gifts of being able to hear and to be able to see in all ways. Okay, so that's how powerful this chakra is. You're going to notice in the Avengers and different movies, they're all about putting things at heart center, throat center, never here. This is everything to opening up so that you can begin seeing and feeling and hearing and really tapping into these energy sources. And so when you do set intentions, we've talked about intentions, loved ones. When you set intentions, these are prayers. This is commanding the universe. This is programming your wishes. And when you set intentions to connect, to receive your messages from spirit, using a specific clair, it doesn't necessarily have to be your strongest. You can use a one that's weaker, especially if your intention is to strengthen that. But ask it and write this down, loved ones, that you ace it. Ace it meaning that it comes in accurately, clearly, and easily. You're going to hear me say this many times in meditations. It was a beautiful teaching that I got many years ago, to always ask that any message you receive comes in ACE, accurately, clearly, and easily. Number 3, to trust in knowing that you're safe, protected, and loved by these beings that are coming in. And this is a big one for the religious ones amongst us, and that you're free to explore your spirituality in these different planes of existence. They didn't want us to go dabbling in other dimensions. We get our power back then. Number 4, so important. In order to develop your clair, do not force your connection or try too hard. This was a huge teaching for me. I spent many years struggling and spinning my wheels because I was trying too hard, to the point where spirit actually had to show up for me to rock my world to let me know I wasn't ready yet. So trust that you're going to see, feel, hear, and know exactly how you're supposed to. The angels and the galactics, come on now, they're the best teachers in the universe. They're the best ones to ensure that your visions, your experiences, that they all come in perfectly for you. So as long as you set intentions for you to be able to ace these messages, that's enough. And that's why you, please, loved ones, don't compare yourself to others. Your experiences, your gifts, your talents, your clairs, they're unique to you. This is one of the gifts, the queens, or sorry, the gifts, one of the lessons that the gifts, wow. One of the gifts and lessons, I guess, that the queens and I had to learn amongst ourselves is not to compare. I don't need more me's. We are all unique. We come with our own colorful wings. And each color adds to the garden. And it's unique. And so when we talk about where you are spiritually, if you're going into a meditation and this is your first time even connecting with spirit, they know that. They're going to connect with you in the means in which they need to, so that it aids in your spiritual development and ascension. It doesn't take away or frighten you. I know there's a fear element to this. I know this because they program me. I know that channel. Go in and cut that. Angels don't hurt you. They don't throw you around rooms. They're here to aid. Why do you think Father made myriads of angels? Myriads. And they're all sitting around bored. Not no more. Number 5, honor your emotions and sensations. As you go through these meditations, initially you might bring in your guardian angel, and then you might bring in a different angel. You might bring in a loved one that's passed. You might bring in an ascended master, a Palladian. You can choose who you want to bring in, but understand that with every energy that you bring in, there's going to be different vibrations, different frequencies. And for many of you, these frequencies have a very intense vibration to them, and you will have to rise to them. Do not ask spirit to lower its bar for you. I can't hear you. I can't see you. That is a complete indication that you need to raise your vibration more. You're too in the 3D. You're too heavy. Number 6, journalize. Kim is amazing at this. Journalize your experience. They're like dreams. They disappear. And when you look back, oh, you should see my journals. I have books of the meditations and what happened. And if I didn't do that, I would have a 3/4 of what I have available right now to give to you, loved ones. I didn't even know the value of it. I just knew the feeling of it. And then number 7, use your meditations to develop your weaker clairs. So as you get introduced to this new meditation, go in next time. You don't necessarily need the guided meditation anymore. Once you learn how to ground, once you learn how to connect, once you learn how to open up these clair centers, you can go in and summon and bring in any being you wish. The healing and the levels of growth are immense here, loved ones. We've just never gone here. And so you are about to experience a guardian angel grounding meditation. So listen to this, loved ones. Your guardian angel. This is why I like cried earlier. Because literally spirit is so excited. All these guardians that have been beside all of you, protecting you since you took your first breath, that you have given no energy to, are finally so excited to connect to you. It is going to be profound. It is going to be moving. It's meant to be. And now you've taken a quiz where you're able to tap into a certain channel, a clair. And although we have at least one guardian angel, most of us have 2, 3, possibly 5. They can be of a male or female energy. And like I mentioned, most of our guardians have been quite bored up until now. So they are excited to meet you. They are excited to connect with you. This meditation, for the most part, is about prepping you. Okay, so be clear. If you're going in going, I want to meet my angel right now. You can't even meet your angel until I take you through these processes to get you to a place where you can even see and have the experience you want with your guardian angel. So trust how this meditation has come in today. It's a meditation that was channeled 7 years ago that just got an upgrade today. All day it was just coming in. It has a very strong vibration to it. It's going to teach you to ground, to connect. So loved ones, if you don't know how to ground, watch how this meditation takes you through just grounding. So even if you use that one tool and you pull it out and use it every morning, watch how you bring in spirit. Notice how safe you feel. And I think many of you are going to be blown away by how many messages you get. And I want to leave a little bit of room later so that I can do some channeled messages based on what you saw and felt. So with that, we're going to take you into a meditation. We are almost at our 1 hour mark. So let's just take a quick 4-minute break. Go pee, walk around, get your crystals, get your blankets, get ready, loved ones. We got a beautiful meditation coming through. We'll see you in a minute. Also, loved ones, make sure you grab your notebook and a pen so that afterwards we're going to have you journalize how you felt and anything that came up. Because again, it's very much like a dream. So we want to make sure you have a few minutes to put down some notes. Okay, loved ones. So again, a big thanks to Kim who put this together. As usual, last minute, but again, Spirit wanted this meditation to come through and it's beautiful, it's powerful. So again, set intentions for this meditation to be exactly what you need it to be. Make sure you're comfortable. Make sure you're creating a space for yourself so that you can really enjoy this and take this in. This meditation is approximately 18 minutes long, 19 minutes long, somewhere in there. So it's not a super long one, but it's highly charged. So enjoy. Right after the meditation, we're going to have you do some journaling and then we'll do some readings right after. Hello, loved ones, and welcome to your guardian angel grounding meditation. After getting comfortable in your chair or lying down, close your eyes and begin to breathe deeply. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Breathe in and your belly rises. Breathe out and your belly falls. One at a time, being sure to stay connected to the feeling and sensation of each and every breath. As you fill your lungs with air, imagine inhaling a bright white light, a sparkling crystalline light that permeates and penetrates every part of your being. It's just one breath at a time, in and out, giving yourself permission to enjoy this special time of self-love and spiritual discovery. And now bring your attention to the top of your head, your crown chakra, and begin opening that energy center like a lotus flower, petal by petal, watching as your energy rushes out to meet the universes. Your energies fusing and dancing together in admiration and joy as they merge and collide in a perfect dance. Feel the joining of your beings coming together, a reunion and feeling like no other, of being home, a space you will now have a few moments to enjoy. While you're in this charged and amplified way of being, draw this energy into your crown and set intentions for it to move through your entire body, releasing and returning any and all energies that are not yours. This energy being returned to its rightful owner, the rest being purged out your hands and feet. Sit and feel this flow as this crystalline light rushes into the top of your head and moves throughout your entire body, the universe cleansing and charging you as it flows. And now it's time to ground. And so bring your awareness to the bottoms of your feet, where you will begin to see white roots begin to emerge from the middle of them. These roots will be made of liquid crystalline light, and like a tree, they spread far and wide beneath you, intertwining amongst themselves as they get stronger and stronger the more they grow. Their purpose being to deliver you to the core of Mother's belly and to keep you safe and grounded while doing so. And so watch with your spiritual eyes as these roots move through the foundation of whatever home or space that you're in and begin penetrating the ground beneath you. Observe how they easily and effortlessly begin to make their way through the dirt and mud. Now the clay and even the bedrock. Your white liquid roots growing and intertwining as they make their way through the many layers of Mother's belly. As you mindfully stay with these roots, begin to look around and notice what you see, loved ones. You are in Mother Gaia's belly after all, and there's much to notice if you take advantage of this time with her. So look for her many beautiful crystals that Mother is currently bringing into form, how their brilliance of these gemstones sparkle and dance for you, as if they're waving and saying hello. Stay with your roots and feel them growing alongside you, allowing them to carry and move you through this grounding process. Your roots quickly making their way further and further into the earth's core. You're approaching the molten lava now, which your roots are easily bursting through and completely unaffected by. And so feel free to run your fingers through Mother's golden veins so you may experience this powerful force that flows within her. And now that you've moved through that, look up. You will now see Earth's core directly in front of you. And so grow your white roots towards this center. And then once you are there, begin wrapping your roots around Mother's core over and over. And as you do, set intentions for this process to center and support you for the grounding and presence required for this meditation, to not only help you adjust to the high frequencies of working with such omnipotent angelic beings, but to allow your messages from them to come in accurately, clearly, and easily. Take a moment now to wrap these roots around as many times as you want, tying knots to each end to ensure they stay secure and in place. Pull down on your roots so they are nice and tight from your feet all the way to the earth's core, and then wrap up any slack that occurred, being sure to walk around and tuck in any loose ends that you may have missed. Your goal here is to completely encompass Gaia's core with your liquid roots until you can see nothing but a bright white ball of your light. And now that this important grounding process is complete, please take a moment to give thanks to Mother Earth for grounding and taking care of you while you embark on this most precious and sacred work. Not to mention, she helps you find your way home. And so with that, turn around and begin following your roots up the way in which you came. Take your time with this ascension, loved ones. Don't rush, or you could compromise the grounding you just did. Rather, enjoy the ride back up through your roots, which are now approaching the molten lava. They are going up and up to the layer where you can see Mother's crystals and gemstones, which are glowing and waving at you like never before. Keep following your roots up as they make their way through the many crusts of the earth. Your roots now hitting the bedrock, the clay, the many layers of dirt, and now back through the foundation of the home or space in which you are in. Keep following your roots all the way up to the bottoms of your feet, and then move your awareness through your body and back up to your heart center. Very good. And now it's time to open up your spiritual energy centers and clairs. So from the middle of your chest, begin to open your heart chakra like a lotus flower, petal by petal. And as you do, a beautiful green emerald color begins to emerge. Begin rotating this energy center in a clockwise position, faster and faster, setting intentions now to clear, reactivate, and re-energize this energy center. Good work. Your heart is now open to feeling all of your messages from Spirit with accuracy and ease. And now bring your awareness up past your throat center to your third eye, right in the middle of your forehead. Begin to open this energy center like a lotus flower, petal by petal, where you will start to see a beautiful indigo purple color begin to emerge. And now again, begin rotating this energy center in a clockwise position, spinning it faster and faster, setting intentions now to clear, reactivate, and re-energize this energy center. Very good. Your third eye is now open, so you may see and hear all of your messages from Spirit with accuracy and ease. And now bring your attention up to your crown chakra at the top of your head, which should still be open from earlier, where you will begin to see a beautiful white crystalline light, possibly even a violet color, or even a mixture, depending on how your third eye sees it. But this color will begin to emerge, and begin spinning this energy center in a clockwise position, faster and faster, setting intentions for this center to clear, reactivate, and re-energize. Very good. Your crown chakra is now open, so you may know and trust all of your messages from Spirit with accuracy and ease. Now take a moment to notice the alignment you have made in this meditation so far. You are connected to your source, your creator, your higher power. You're connected to yourself, and you're connected to Mother Gaia, a powerful and perfect trio for interpreting and receiving messages from Spirit. And so with that, it's time to meet your guardian angel. And so with your spiritual eyes, you will begin to see in the far distance a blurry image of an angel making its way towards you. As this being gets closer, you can start to make out this angel's outline now. Its massive wings, even what it's wearing. With every step this guardian angel takes towards you, they become clearer and clearer to the point that you can now make out your angel's face. If it's a male or female energy, and the incredible love and endearment it has for you. Your angel is now in complete focus as it takes its final steps and stands in front of you. Don't worry if you can't fully see or make out your angel. They will make their presence known when and in the way that's best for you. Trust that. And so take a moment now to take in the presence and energy of this magnificent angel standing before you. A guardian you assigned to yourself before you entered this earth school to keep you safe and protected here. Your angel will smile smiles warmly at you and begins to wrap its big, beautiful wings around you. An embrace that makes you instantly melt, reminding you of feelings of being home, of being safe and at peace. And whether you remember it or not, your guardian angel has been with you since you were born, helping and guiding you through all of your lessons and hardships. So take a moment to enjoy this reunion with this special guardian. And now, tapping into your dominant clair or spiritual power, ask your guardian angel if they have any messages for you. And then just listen. Let your guardian angel speak and give you messages through this clair channel. Feel free to use this time to get clear on any questions you may have or any direction you might need right now. Now, loved ones, for the first couple of times, it's recommended to keep your questions light and fun so you can begin to develop your relationship with your angel, so you can start trusting your clair and the way you receive your messages. You will now have a few moments to be with your angel and its wisdom. Very good. And now it's time to say goodbye and for your guardian angel to leave. So take this time to give your gratitude and love to this being, and include any parting words until your next visit together. Feel free to embrace your angel, being sure to enjoy your connection and this being's highly charged energy as you wrap your arms around them. Your angel looks you deep in your eyes and soul now and gives you a final message, one that leaves you with angel bumps and a charge that gets stronger and more intense every time you meet. Your angel puts its hands in prayer position and bows to you in honor of your good works here today, says goodbye, and turns around. Your angel's wings so big, they drag behind them. You watch as your angel walks away, only to notice in the far distance, just before your angel is out of sight, it turns around to look at you. Your energies locking again in one last embrace. Your angel then turns around and slowly walks away until they disappear. Bringing your attention back to heart center, loved ones. Set intentions now that you are protected and shielded in a sphere of white light. This giving you the space and time you need to allow your messages and downloads to process and calibrate, and to keep you safe from vibrations of a lower order while you do so. Looking down with your spiritual eyes, you see your liquid roots still connected from the bottom of your feet to Mother Gaia's core. Mother providing this grounding service now to help your messages and downloads be absorbed and understood. So please take a moment to give her gratitude for this gift. And now it's time to bring yourself back. And so begin wiggling your hands and your toes. Begin swaying your body if you wish. And when you're ready, and only when you're ready, open your eyes. Mm. Did you feel that one, loved ones? Please take a moment, just a few minutes, write down your big energetic hot spots in that meditation. Do not literally underestimate the power of doing this right now. And I'll be back in a few minutes for some live readings, and maybe Darren will even join us a little later. Okay. Now I know, and I hope that after this class, you go and write anything you remember after this. Your first interaction with spirit, with your, especially your guardian angel, if you've never met him or her, is very powerful. And so, Kim, I'm going to let you orchestrate and go through what's coming up. Loved ones, please take a moment to put your experiences in the chat so we can feel you. We can energetically connect to who we need to. And let's talk about what you went through on that meditation, because I was feeling all of you. I was looking at all of you. It was beautiful to feel you connecting with a higher source, possibly an energy you never have before, never mind in a way that it was done. So, talk to me. What have you got for me, Kim?
Actually, they must still be typing, or they can raise their hands if they'd like. I don't have any experiences in here as of right now, but we did have a few. Oh, Carol, of course. Rod said he could see white roots going into earth. Oh, sorry. And the colors he saw was orange and light colors.
Okay, Rod, come to me, please. Okay, so explain your light colors. What colors were your
White.
light colors?
White.
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 White with orange.
White,
So how did the white and the
orange.
orange incorporate together?
Well, there was white separate and there was orange separate.
Okay.
They weren't together.
Mhm.
I didn't see any angel.
Okay.
I saw I saw like the green roots. I saw going into the earth, like a cave-like thing I was going into.
Carol,
Um,
sorry, hold on a moment. I need you to stop. I need you to go back. And Rod, I need you to come forward because
Okay.
I'm picking up on her energy and it's confusing for me for a channel. Thank you.
okay,
Ah,
how's that?
woo. Nice to meet you. Okay. So can we please start again? Because again, I was tapping into Carol. So
Sure.
as you were doing this meditation, you were bringing in what color?
White, light,
Perfect.
orange, white and orange.
Okay, so orange is your
Mhm.
sacral. So that is the chakra that's directly above your root. Your
Mhm.
sacral represents relationships. It is your emotional center.
Mhm.
It is your creativity. It is your sexual center. So when this center usually comes through, it's usually emotion. So it's okay. Again,
Mhm.
Spirit will use, if you're in touch, it'll bring in energy that
Yeah.
it needs to. So if you were saying you did not see an angel,
No.
Mhm. How much have you worked and believed in angels?
How much have I believed in angels?
How much have you worked and believed in angels?
I haven't worked with any angels.
Perfect. You will be soon.
Okay.
There's no doubt. When you can go into a meditation and see color,
Mhm.
that I've done so many meditations where many of my students couldn't see anything for many classes. So the fact that you can see color, that is
I've done that before by sitting on the ground and pretending I had a tail going into Mother Earth and pulling the energy up through Mother Earth. And
perfect.
that's what I did before. But
Perfect.
it was always orange light coming through me up from the ground. I'd always be sitting on the ground when I'd be doing it.
Mhm.
Or
With you,
when I go outside and I ground, I'd have my bare feet in the ground and then pulling energy up through Mother Earth, grounding.
okay. So when you are trying to ground,
Mhm.
there is a pulling up, but there is a going down to ground
Yeah.
first.
Mhm.
So try that.
Mhm.
That might work for you.
Mhm.
Give me a minute. You have some strong energies. Now, when I tap into your energy, for you, it's going to be a lot about trusting.
Mhm.
Ignore what you have been taught.
Mhm.
There's a lot of programming that you're going to have to dismiss, like most of us. And
Yeah.
here's the thing about, and I'm grabbing my chest. Here's the thing about you. You know what's true. You know what's right. You know what feels good. You've been walking enough on this earth school to know when something feels good and when something doesn't.
Yeah.
It's very simple. And this is not about convincing anyone. This is about how does this feel?
Mhm.
And for many of our claircognizants, the ones who just know, when you have an imprint and you don't trust your source, it's now going to be about how it feels. It has an energy and a resonance.
Mhm.
And I know that one behind you, she packs a punch. And we love her. We love her. Oh,
So do I.
but she is a woman who remembers her wings and they were stripped from her. And she realizes and remembers them. And now that she is, you can't stop that. I remember being spiritually thirsty. And Carol, when I resonate and when I feel your energy, you're thirsty because you remember, you have a knowing. And she's just catching up to you. And now it's about not comparing. It's not about trying to one up. It's merging so that you can serve.
Mhm.
And the fact that you two, when we see husbands and wives here, it is so uncommon. You're unicorns. You're unicorns. So to the husbands and wives on this chat who keep showing up, on some level, you made a soul agreement to be here right
I'm
now.
gonna keep showing up.
I hope so.
I will.
And just know this orange light, just keep open to it.
Mhm.
The reason you're not able to see your angel right now is you have to, I feel tension.
Just let his imprint settle.
Darren says you have to let your imprint settle.
Okay.
When we are used to a certain vibration and an imprint of a higher vibration comes in, there's a recalibration. It's Darren's favorite word with us queens through all of our training. Recalibration, where we would just sit and rock. It's the deprogramming.
Mhm.
It's the virus clearing.
Yeah.
So just be with that and let it settle. Don't do this. Let it settle. Let it just be. You know, come on now. You think this is your first trip here?
Nope. Been here
So
many
you
times.
have a sense of knowing.
Yes.
It's the first time, though, that someone or things or a channel has spoken your language.
Mhm.
You were skeptical at first, as you should be.
Of course.
Allow us and them to prove themselves. Because here's the
Mhm.
thing, all we do is we give you the tools, you go.
Yeah.
They will show and do and be exactly what they are meant to be for you. Because here's the thing, we have what, 13 people right now on this live chat.
Yeah.
This is all that could show up out of the billions of people. You're the ones who are aligned enough that could hear a meditation of that vibration. Darren and I sat and watched all of you. We're looking for loved ones who keep showing up, who are not afraid to walk into new vibrations.
I'm not afraid.
And that's why we see you.
I welcome that.
And that's why you're a beautiful team. There are many husband and wife teams on here that, again, they're just kind of showing me two fists. And most of us, and I'll tell you right now, my past relationships, I butted heads constantly. And I talked about Leslie Graham, one of my greatest teachers, where I was married and she told me, she's like, girl, stop trying to teach him. He already knows. He's waiting for you to catch up. I sat and did a vibrational twitch. I don't know for how long, until I was like, because I was trying to save him this whole time and he's waiting for me to catch up. What a humbling. Ah. There's also an energy here though, because here's the thing. I was with this man and he was not ready to grow. This one of the soul contracts we made together, he was not living up to. He was holding me back. He made me heavy. He made me sad. My whole environment made my wings so small, to the point where even after we got divorced years later, he came back to me. He said, I know who you were. He said, I actually thought I could build a cage big enough for your wings. And we have loved ones who are going to be watching this and are watching this, who are in situations where their soul agreements are expired and done. And you are fighting and pushing and trying to make something work that's not supposed to. And you know it, but you're fearful of what you're supposed to do because you don't know what you're supposed to do because you don't trust your source. Trust your source. Your world changes. These meditations where you're meeting divine beings who are going to give you messages of trust. We have you. Just step. We can't aid and assist you until you move. And we're going to make it so uncomfortable until you finally do. So if you wake up every day and you're sad, if you wake up every day and you feel those chains on your wings, if you wake up every day and you feel like you can't speak, loved ones, you're in a cage. You have wings too big for the cage you're in. And don't be afraid. Whatever and whoever you are with on a soul level, if you are outgrowing your cage, you were meant to. And what's outside of your cage is scary because you don't know. You're not supposed to. That's why there's fruits there. I have to stop talking now, otherwise I'm going to start saying names. Okay, Kim, talk to me.
Okay, we had a few loved ones talk about physical discomfort during a meditation.
Excellent. Who spoke of this?
Gareth and Jessica. So
Excellent. Okay, let's start with Gareth. Gareth, I can take a guess, but just for the record, talk about where you were feeling this, please.
Started first few minutes, I couldn't really connect. It wasn't like any meditation I've done with you before, because it would normally, when we took the break, I was feeling like I was going to meet a guardian angel. I was getting angel bumps and I was standing outside and I was looking forward to, and then I came in, the pain was just so tense in the heart. Then I thought someone's going to walk in, now everybody's asleep. I just had that feeling. Then my head started going, couldn't get into a flow. And then I'm thinking, what is this? Because it's never happened to me doing any of your meditations before. So it was a bit strange.
I'll tell you right now. Most of my meditations I can do on a one-hit recording. Doesn't matter if it's 4 to 7, I can read the whole thing. The whole meditation comes in one recording. This one, I had fire alarms. I had distractions like crazy. I had to do a meditation today. I told Darren where I was channeling this meditation, Gareth, and I had so much pain, and I call them on my wings. It's right behind, like, it's this weight, and it hurts, and I lose my breath sometimes as I'm typing and bringing this in. And there was a point today where I had to go and do a meditation. And as soon as I connected, my team, they took me up. And I kept going up and up and up. And it was like, the more I went up, anything of a lower vibration, they were falling off of me to the point where I was looking and I was seeing these higher or lower entities stuck on me, where I had to push them off. Here's the thing. As I went higher and higher, and finally it got to a point where I was like, ugh, and my wings went out. I'm like, enough. Loved ones, feel this, because I know most of you are feelers on some level. There's going to be days where you feel the energy on your back, on your neck. Carol, you've talked about this. Especially right where on the back, where your wings would connect. Because here's the thing. I never have that much difficulty. The way this meditation came in, there was a point where I was like, there is some energy that doesn't want this meditation to come in. Imagine the world learning about their guardian angel and how to get messages. Obviously, there's a reason for that. We watched you, Gareth. We saw you working through it. And loved ones, if you are in the meditation where you need to move, and there are times when I have to do a figure 8, or I need to move my body in some way, it's okay to be, especially if you are in a meditative state, to move your body, stretch. It's when you're moving, Gareth, it's
normally I would have moved a lot more, but this is the first live I don't, but normally I'd be nearly on the floor crawling around, because especially with the last psychic one, I had to move around a lot, you know, so
do that. And if you got to tell my girls that, hey, I'm going to be doing some stretching.
Yeah,
we got you. If you're doing a meditation, we know you. Go again. I feel, so I need to move my body so that energy can loosen up. So if you're in a meditation, it's okay to stay in it. Do not unconnect. Stay in the moment, to setting intentions. I know this is an indication of how much energy I need to release within me. And Gareth, you feel and attach a lot still. And so as a result, you need to move and release more. You're a feeler. So when you feel like myself, you need to be by yourself. You need to have meditations where you're constantly getting rid of energy that's not yours. And reminding yourself not to attach to people's problems. It's not your job to save them from their feelings or lessons. I'll keep reminding you of that because I have to keep reminding myself of that.
okay, thanks.
So if you're feeling things, it's okay. Meditation is not about staying perfectly still. No, that's why I have meditations where you're stretching, you're moving. It's okay. If you got to walk around and do this meditation to start, so be it. But here's the thing. We watched all of you halfway through go, and you were in it. We watched your faces go up. Judy, you were one. You were so connected at one point. We thought you were levitating. And it's true, you can spiritually levitate. You can feel on such a level, be so in another dimension. Welcome to psychic superpowers. You tell me that's wrong. feel that. It can't be. How can something that feels so good be so wrong? Okay, next question, please.
It's more of an experience. So Dave and Monica, I would actually like to, whoever wrote in the chat, to share, please.
It is, okay. This is not, okay. Am I unmuted? Can you hear me?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Well, I've been, it's not my first rodeo, been at this a long time. So the beginning of the meditation, super easy for me to see all the connecting and all that. And it was interesting because last night, in the middle of the night, I've been having I had a massive light body activation earlier in the week. And then last night I was given a tour in my lucid dreaming state of the mineral kingdom. And it was really interesting because Jody, through the meditation, actually described the dream I had last night. So that was pretty cool. When we got to the part of actually meeting our angel, I think my mind was a little distracted. So I didn't really have a real connection with a specific angel, but I had, I kind of had a body memory of a lifetime where I actually cut off my wings because I wanted to have a human experience. So that's about where I'm at.
Is there a question or no?
There's not a question.
Oh,
Oh,
perfect.
well, wait, actually curious. Yeah, I mean, if you have any feedback you have for me, I would be grateful for.
The imprint about meeting the angel.
Okay, hold on one second. Okay, so Darren he just like came alive with that comment. So
I just want everybody to realize and recognize again that when we are meeting that entity for the first time, it's the fact that we are opening the door and extending your hand as in a gesture of love and peace. That picture that we're painting for ourselves in that particular moment in time is what opens the door. Give it a little bit of time here for something to manifest itself and find a way to interpret itself for you so that you can actually enjoy this moment. Necessarily expecting to see the exact face of this entity is not in itself materially justified yet because enough time hasn't passed. It needs to see you. This is the first time it has seen you come to the door. It's almost like it needs just a moment because it's in shock. Give it an opportunity now to respond in a loving, usually it's going to be in a humorous manner. Again, I'm always seeing the humor and that comedic relief side to our struggles. And lots of times I'm just laughing at in the middle of mid-sentence or mid-paragraph when I'm working on a document, because for myself, when I see things, it's the movie element that Jody was describing earlier. But for me, it's like I see multiple movies all playing at the same time, and there's multiple layers and there's multiple things going on where it becomes such a balancing act. I don't even bother. I can somehow home in or tune into the one layer at that particular junction or intersect, and I can hold on to that image, and then another one's going to fly by, and I can randomly pick the ones that are important for some reason, and somehow a lot of the fluff goes by. It's entertaining to watch, but I can somehow pick out what's best suited or best meant to serve me at this particular moment. And this is where I do not make the mistake of trying to fully understand and interpret it in the moment. No, I literally put it in the bank mentally or in the cache. I just keep it close to the front and center, but I don't dwell on it. And then a day later, something will happen that'll connect 2 or 3 dots from 4 or 5 days before. And all of a sudden you'll have a string of little things happen. And sometimes I just got to sit down. But this is what I'm saying, the meeting the entities, give it a moment for them just to manifest themselves. Again, it's not always going to be manifestly possible for them to just meet you at the door like that. Just go into it with an open heart though. And the message is already on its way. Now just be in the receiving end, be mindful, be aware of little nuances. Something that just catches your imagination or piques your interest, give it an extra moment's notice, because sometimes just around the corner, you're going to find a treasure.
All right. A little gem from that man. Okay, so when you were going through that meditation, loved ones, can you please put in the chat what your experience was when you met your angel? Okay, so let's talk about that. We have some loved ones that some of my queens would like to talk to. So Kim.
Yes, Scott. I've been watching you a lot through this whole Zoom today, and you had questions from the very beginning and then into the meditation. So could you carry us through from the beginning? Because I think they were very important questions and a few messages came through for you.
Okay, so like I had questions in the beginning.
You did. Would you like me to, I'll pull on your record. You had questions about Palladians and if they can actually come into the body now.
Oh, like actually, are they actually here in form, or is it just only in like a spiritual connection? That was one of the questions I had. So I believe they're real, but I just don't know, like, can you actually see them physically, or can you just, see them spiritually or mentally?
So I gave this experience actually the first time I met Darren, which is February 11th. It's coming up, our 1-year anniversary, where that man just completely walked into my life and I interviewed him for 9 hours at my table. And at the very end, Scott, when I was trying to, he had explained everything to me, and the big part was, it does not serve what you are doing for everyone to get in and get their inheritance. And I didn't know what that looked like. I just knew that there were only certain ones that were meant to get in. And behind Darren stood 3 Palladian energies in cloak. Well, they had judges' wigs on and attire, very tall, like 9 feet tall. And I was just like, wow, you have 3 Palladian judges behind you. And that's when I got my message of they protect equity. I don't have to.
Yeah, that was one of my best learns, was if they fall, it's because they're meant to.
And so when you talk about, is it in physical form? And then we were in a hot tub months later, and I looked up and I could see the 3 of them standing on, our porch. So it's not like it's this, it's different. It's usually a silhouette. You can usually see through them, but their presence, they might as well be here. So when you ask, are they in physical form? you can see them with your physical eyes, but it's just different. But you don't doubt it because their energy is so profound. It's so intense.
Is that it?
No, there's more. You had lots. So do you want to take us through the meditation? Because I know you had some strong emotions.
Well, like at first it was just hard for me to kind of connect. Like it was okay to, do the grounding, and I could actually, see the light going down and through, and it was almost like I don't know, I got flashes of images, but it was like a big open cave with water and like the colored crystals. She was talking about crystal kingdom or whatever. So I think it was kind of like that. But like I thought it actually could have been longer because I wasn't really ready to leave when Jody told us it was time to leave, So, and then close to the end of it, I just couldn't seem to really connect. I didn't, see any faces or angel or anything. I just saw like flashes of light. Go ahead.
Do it 3 times.
Yeah, I'll definitely do that one again. Yeah.
This is a highly spiritually potent meditation. So the fact that you're like, yeah, I cruise through this, most can't even cruise through the grounding process. This is 120 years from now, when they're all talking about us, going, wow, they're going through meditations like that. It is such a spiritually, energetically packed meditation, loved ones. You are connecting, you are grounding, you're meeting a galactic being. You are then shielding and then coming back. So there's going to be some parts that are strong and there's going to be some parts that are weak. And again, did you go in though with your strong Claire?
I think so.
No, they just said the whole reason he was confused, you did not go in with your strongest Claire to get your messages. You just went in.
The grounding was easy because the quickie meditation is all about grounding.
You have to ground. It's
Yeah.
important for any spiritual development. But now when it comes to getting messages from spirit, when it comes to connecting, it's so important that you set your intentions and connect to the channel in which is your dominant. This is the whole reason we asked you to take the test. So this is what I'm saying. When you go back, and they're actually saying retake the test.
Okay.
Full, grounded, with intentions of going, hey, come on, spirit. I need to know what I am. That's all it takes. And then go in, take the test. They're showing me it will be the same, but it'll give you the confidence now to go into the meditation going, this is my strongest Claire. And now I just need to trust. And when you go into that meditation, go into that channel. So when you ask, so for instance, if it's that you feel.
And keep in mind, loved ones, these sessions, they build upon the session previous. It's almost like, we just experienced so many different new things. We have a tough time connecting it all in the moment. But you know what? By the 3rd or 5th time you listen and experience that meditation, you'll draw on the experiences from the last one, and you'll find that you'll be laying down track a lot faster because it's familiar territory. And this is where you develop that rhythm. And this is where you'll feel that flow. And this is where the energies will start to really, really do what they were supposed to do. It's almost like we're never ready on the first time we hear these meditations because it's a foreign experience. How comfortable are you going to be with an immediately foreign experience? Most of us do not handle that well.
A dimensional experience.
Yeah, so it takes an exposure over a few courses or a few experiences to finally start to settle.
And this is why I go into the meditation going in with the Claire you want the message to come in on. If you're going, give me the message in all 7 channels. Do you see how it's going to be a little vague? You're going to leave going, yeah, I got some, but I didn't get others. Go into the meditation where, and they're saying if feeling is 1, go in with your top 2. Spirit's going your top 2. So that's why go into the, when you took the quiz, look at what your top 2 clairs are and go in saying, my intention is to tap into my knowing and my hearing to get my messages on this.
And it is a little different when you're like going through it in, I don't know, I don't like time, but real time. Because you kind of feel like you're under a bit of a time crunch, or you're under a bit of a microscope, like, so it's different when you go back. I even noticed with the quickie meditations, it was a lot easier to go back in myself in my own time and do them over and over. And that's how that one got real easy. So I'm hoping this one does the same thing too.
Oh, it will. And there's a reason we could only keep you so long with your guardian angel.
Oh no, it was with Mother.
It's a vibration. It'll bug you. We can only keep you there for so long. And then we got to get you out. That's why we spend 14 minutes doing grounding and connecting skills to give you 5 minutes with your angel. So you're even at a place where you can hear, you can appreciate what's coming in. That's how much 3D work you have to do to get a 4D result. Okay, so again, you're going to have time to do this meditation on your own. You now know the meditation, so you can move through it a little quicker. You can go in knowing, asking your questions, and you'll get your answers as I'm talking in the meditation. And here's the thing, you can go in, play the music, and don't bring me. Go do it yourself.
But you're going to do a 45-minute to an hour one of these days.
But Darren just said I'm going to do a 45-minute to an hour one of these days.
On behalf of everybody, thanks, Darren.
Wow. That's a big meditation. I try and keep these around 20 minutes when people are first starting, because it's a lot. When I have a 45-minute chakra clearing one that by the end of it, people fall asleep halfway through. They wake up, they're just like drooling. It's like the full 5D meal. Like it's just licking windows at the end of it. It's just a massive adjustment where they're just tweaking, trying to deal with the download. And I'm sensitive to that. I feel most of you. So I try and bring in meditations that give you a taste. I can do these meditations again, where when it comes to meeting a galactic being, I can do multiple of these meditations where I give you more time. The meditation came in. Now I just have to change a few of the titles and give you what you need. Okay, Kim, anything else?
I would like to ask, sorry, Kim, did you have anything? So you, no. Nick and Joanne, I really would like to hear from Joanne. How was the meditation and how was the feeling mostly? Like, what did you feel? And I saw, because you asked a couple of questions to your angel, so I see that you saw him as well. If you like. I mean, you say that I asked and said, are you there? I want to know you. Was that to your guardian angel?
Yes.
Okay. If you like to share your experience, it would be lovely. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So Monica mentioned earlier, this is not her first rodeo. This is my first rodeo. This is lots of new for me, lots of new. That being said, not lots of new hearing spirit, just lots of new steps that I'm going through and tools that I'm putting in my toolbox. So that's very exciting. I knew this session was coming up tonight. I was excited about it. I was nervous about it, curious, cautious. I wasn't scared. I had decided ahead of time that I really wanted to prepare my heart and prepare myself to receive something specific and to be able to get past a barrier maybe that I had preconceived was there holding me back. So for me, the intention, the meditation was good. I set my intentions in being able to receive through my Clair. I wanted to meet my guardian angel, and I did. I asked the questions, are you there? I want to know you are there with me. And he answered yes. And how will I know? And he said, you will feel me. Now, I went through the rest of the meditation, and when I had the roots going down into the earth, I felt like the soil was all black and lacy looking with lavender light showing through it. I did not see the face of my guardian angel, although I knew he was there. It was almost like those little Viewmasters when you're little. I was trying to like put a face on him so I could kind of make that make sense in my head. But that didn't actually happen, although I recognized the form there. And it was interesting because Darren said, you might not see the face. And I was like, oh, okay, all right, that's good then, I'm good.
You're muted, Jody.
But you can also see why your angel didn't show his face, Joanne. Because you needed it. And here's the thing about spirit. If you need it to believe it, they will never give it. If you need whatever they give to believe, they ask you to believe before you know. That's the difference. John, it's beautiful to hear your journey through all of this. And just so you know, the more you do this, again, there's power in 3. Scott, do this 3 times. Joanne, do this 3 times. Loved ones, do this 3 times. Watch. That's why document. You'll be like, yeah, so this happened and this happened. By the 3rd time, we'll lose you. You'll be like, yeah, Jody, I'm not even close to being done. I need like another half an hour. There's so much that happened. And that's what happened in my classes. I had to give them more and more time. Because the more they did it, the more that came in. And that's the point. So Joanne, there was a few messages that I had said tonight about people with a very strong religious background. And the reason I said that is because I relate to you. I know we're going to have loved ones coming up with such ingrained and programmed spiritual bullshit. That's what it is. It's just another program. It just depends on what religion you were raised in, as far as what program that was. And they I allowed them to shackle my wings for so long. And let me tell you, when you get visitations from Archangel Michael and you realize you can go and meet with any galactic being you wish, you can't stay in a cage. It's impossible. And then you realize just what's out there. And then you just keep coming back and sharing it. And then there's other little birdies that go, I want to go and check that out. And away we go. And we start changing the frequency and the energy of the world, where all of us start getting our wings and remembering where we came from and amplifying our gifts, our clairs, where we have a think tank, divergence, a beautiful group of men and women where we all can connect. It's that whole avatar where we move together, we feel together. Everything is done in the name of ascension and what we came here to do. Come on, let's go. You're ready. I'm ready. He's ready. Everyone's ready. The universe needs us to rise to this. Okay, Kim, any last words? And loved ones, again, if you got to leave, don't even worry. This is extracurricular. But again, I always love to give this portion of the meeting.
Yes, we have actually had two loved ones ask. And Scott just asked, are we protected from negative energies during meditation, or can we be fooled by them? And we also had Rod say something similar, as in he didn't want to be, he shielded himself to protect himself from negative energies. So it seems to be a theme of question.
Loved ones, you have to remember the game we've been involved in. We're used to dirty, filthy, ugly Satan. So of course, when we try to bring in light, we're wondering if he can infiltrate. Here's the thing. He operates in a certain vibration. He can't operate in high vibrations. He's in the shit realm. Shit creek, as we call it. You'll know him and what it feels like when you go in there. So when it comes to how you feel, this is about staying in the path that is of least resistance and knowing that when you channel, when you tap into these energies, you are protected. They're high vibration, loved ones. Lower vibration. This is what, again, I wish I had teachers that taught me this, because I was so freaked out. I would only deal and heal with the highest vibration of the light. Until Spirit said, how can you be a true healer unless you heal in both? So know you have wings, you have protectors, you have guardians. And if you're meditating with the intention of trying to connect with higher beings, the lower vibrations can't even touch you. It's arrows to airplanes. Remember that. And know that. And set intentions for that. Shut up, Satan. Sit down. I'm going to talk to Spirit. And he will. Enough said about that. Literally. Don't, if the more you think about, Satan, what you feed grows. Stop thinking about that. Stop tapping into that cord. Start lifting your head. Come on. When you tap into higher energies, you get higher things. If you're getting shit, you're tapping into shit, period. 11. Woo, 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 woo.
And they just said, who feeds on fear? The light or the others?
Feed what you want to grow. Write that down, loved ones. It has been such a huge teaching for me. Feed what you want to grow. And if you don't like what's growing, stop feeding it. Huge. So many loved ones go, I don't like what's happening. This isn't fair. But they're feeding it. If you don't give something energy, it dies. It has to by the laws of energy. So if you don't like something, literally force yourself not to think about it, not to give it any emotion, no thought, nothing. If it's a person, cut the cord, and any time you think about them, I send these cords back with love, as I am not your source and you are not mine. Powerful. Keep doing that. They cannot connect after a while. And then keep doing your work to get your vibration higher. Because if someone's connecting to you dysfunctionally, you're of a low vibration. How can something low attach to something high? They can't. So if you have dysfunctional feedings going on, your energy is low. So use your spiritual tools to raise your vibration. These ones fall off like it's like you're high vibration and they pop. It's like the milk soured. Sour your milk to which you're feeding dysfunctionally. That's a big one. Feed what you want to grow. So if you have things that are barely seeds, you can grow them. Focus on them. I want this to grow. I want this to be nurtured. You watch what happens. Okay, loved ones, this has been a long one, but I wanted to get to a little bit of readings. If you have any other ones, please post them on the Telegram KïnderGardën chat. I will answer them tomorrow because I know we can't get to everyone. I love all of you. Thank you for your beautiful faces and energy and showing up. Let this integrate. Don't be going and doing multiple bang, bang, bang meditations. Come on, you got to give yourself, let this calibrate, let it sink in. Okay. All right. We'll see you next time.